Minecraft Hardcore, a game mode that has been in the game ever since 2010, and despite meeting over 40 streams on around 15 different worlds, I never really completed it. In fact, I never properly beat the Ender Dragon in Hardcore Minecraft. So in this video, I want to change that, so people in my Discord can finally stop trash talking. Welcome to 100 days in Hardcore Minecraft. So, for day 0, I made the world with a very original name and spent some time gathering the basic tools I used to become a local butcher, rob some villagers and obtain some iron. After a good night's sleep, I crafted a shield and went to look for a base spot, but while looking, I found a cave, and like the true Indiana Jones I am, I went to explore and set up a small base in the cave to smelt all the iron I found using my fresh 2 million-year-old coal. And after crafting myself some iron armor and tools, I felt comfortable enough to go explore more of the cave and gather some more iron. On day 2, I broke up my camp and got out of the cave to continue looking for a base spot. And after thinking about a huge jungle mountain range, or maybe even the snowy mountains, I decided to settle on this small plains biome. And staying in the fashion of really cool builds, on day 3 I decided to build this amazing 3x3 wooden home. But don't click off yet, I promise at the end of the challenge my home will look a little bit better. For the safety, I decided to add fences around my home, to prevent any pesky mobs from coming close to my base. But to keep up with the need of wood, I decided to honor team trees and make a small 5x5 tree farm. And after the fence was done, on day 4 I went to make a small mine and found a very cool looking underwater cave system. Sadly, I decided to just keep on digging, but already hated the full blocks in the stairs, so I ran up and made a stone cutter. And a ton of stairs so I could run up quickly without wasting precious food. Everything was going smoothly until day 5. While casually digging the staircase, I violated the first law of Minecraft. Never dig straight down. I fell straight down into lava. I got shocked and in my panic I accidentally placed a water bucket on the wrong spot. Now only on 4 hearts while still in lava, I only had one chance to save myself, and luckily I managed to place the bucket inside me, and with just 2 hearts I managed to save myself from an early death. A physical one that is, because my pickaxe broke, so I had to dig through deep slate by hand. During that, I found my first ever diamond. Apparently there is sunshine after rain. Anyway, day 6. I mined some trees and upgraded my house, continued mining the staircase carefully, and reached the desired Y level. And straight mined for the whole day. Day 7, I found my first diamond vein, since the first one was just a single diamond. I made a pickaxe and continued strip mining. Day 8, I mined some obsidian and made a start on the sugarcane farm, and built a fence around my farm, and during the night I made a wheat farm so I could force animals to have babies. I also started laying the foundation for my actual base. Day 9, I started to actually build parts of my base and trap some animals in an extent of my fence. During the night, day 10, I made another extent to a portal area against stinky pigmen intruding my living space, like I do to them. On day 10, I went back into the mines to get some more iron and coal. I also ran out of coal, so I went to a higher Y level to see if I could find some coal. I couldn't. Day 11, I bred the cows and mined even more iron and explored a cave where I almost pulled the fills up by being unable to kill baby zombie. And I planted some more sugarcane. I continued working on the base and went to get some more spruce, since I was gonna need a lot of that. Luckily, it was just across the river, and the work was starting to pay off, as the house was starting to make shape. No, I am not calling this a good house, but it's a start. Trust the process, bro. On day 13, I attempted some interior design, which in my opinion didn't turn out so bad. And I captured some sheep to put next to the cows. And at this point of the building, I would say the first level looks quite alright. Day 14, I decided to check the Nether for the first time. And lucky for me, the fortress is right next to my portal. I also immediately placed down fence for my defense and lit myself on fire before I ran back. So after that terrifying experience, I got back to building my next level of my house. And by the end of the day, I made an enchanting table and placed it on the 2nd floor before enchanting my pickaxe. And after working all night on the morning of day 15, I could really see the progress on the 2nd floor. But after all that building, I decided to get back into the mines, and that proved to be more boring than I could remember, so I just went back to building. And by the end of day 16, I placed some trapdoors on the wall, but that was so ugly, so I switched them to fence gates. Day 17, I got some new spruce and finished the ground floor by making the roof. Day 18, I slaughtered some cows to kill Nether to finally get level 30 enchantments, and used that enchant to mine grass block to make the blocks grassy. Day 19, I ran out of smooth stone, so I did some mining, but then decided it didn't go fast enough, so I just dug out a big room, after which I got enough stone, and I started working on the roof again. Day 20, I finished the outline of the roof and started filling it in with spruce wood. By day 21, I was almost done, but with like 5 blocks left, I had to gather just a little bit more spruce. So I did that and shaved some sheep to fill in that. I don't know what it's called, this part. Day 22, I replaced the fence in the Nether by stone bricks to make a safe house for my portal. I also spent way too much time on getting some flower pots for my enchanting table. But I also did something good by making some windows in my newly acquired roof. Day 23, I started decorating the inside of the roof, but ran out of spruce again, so I mined down some more trees. By the end of day 24, I finished the inside roof and made the second window on the other side. Day 25, I ran around my house in search of a beehive. I eventually found it and camped until the night so I could bring them home to my basement. Sadly, that basement is still non-existent, so I spent the rest of day 25 and 26 digging and decorating the basement for the bees. Day 27, I went to the caves for some more coal and discovered a mineshaft where I found what seems to be radioactive berries. I also went to the Nether to get a functioning door in place and place some glass. Day 28, I got fortune on my pickaxe, so I mined all my coal ore with it. The rest of the day I spent in the mines and caves looking for more resources. Day 29, I mined and covered some holes in the Nether to guarantee safe passage to the fortress. I also ran to the Crimson Forest and gathered some of the red wood for when I want to build something with it. But that was where I came terrifying close to death once again. While digging some wood, I got knocked off the tree by a skeleton from behind, knocking me into a hoglin, which hit me, and after running into the skeleton, which hit me back to the hoglin, I only had 3 hearts left. So I decided to be brave and run away in fear and dug in until I was healed, and ran back. Day 30, I grew tired of that boring oak fence, so I built the outline of the stone outer wall, but still placed a fence around it. But that was boring, so I did something far more interesting. I mined. Day 31, I still didn't have diamond armor, so I mined because I wanted to flex in my single player world. Day 32, I did have diamond armor, so I went to the Nether to install some stuff in case of emergency, and flattened the overworld terrain some more to make place for the stone wall. Day 33, I destroyed the entire farm and built a better cage for the cows. And don't ask me how, but somehow a sheep got into the cow pen. But I wouldn't be the one to break this farm of biodiversity, so I put it in the new cow pen as well. Day 34, I needed some finds for the wall, so I ran around looking for a jungle, and also stumbled across this flower field. So I unleashed my true Dutch blood, and I colonized some tulips while eating a stroopwafel. Day 35, I mined some more area in the basement to make the ugliest vine farm ever, but it worked. So I just continued working on the wall, where I decided the fence was annoying, and since by this time I finally had enchanted my armor, I felt like I could live without a fence. Day 36, I added some moss cobblestone and some more texture to the stone wall. Day 37, I built the roof of the basement and decorated the wall even more. Day 38, I chopped down some big spruce trees. Day 39, I ran across half the map to get some dark oak wood for a project I would be starting in a few days. Day 40 was mostly running around in caves to mine resources. Day 41, I decided to start work on the backdrop of my base. So I started to drain the water, but halfway I found out it wasn't really what I was going for, so I had to start over again. Day 43, I enchanted some of my gear and grinded it back to normal, since it wasn't good enough. Day 46, I got kinda tired of just mining and placing dirt, so I started to shape the outline of the wall to a branch to build a new storage building. And during the rainy day, I started the actual construction, and if you think I'm a good stand-up builder, I'm not. I designed it in my creative world and just built it from some screenshots. Day 47, I continued work on a new storage building, but also making a very stupid mistake, resulting in my 3rd near-death experience. While looking for the correct screenshot, I was just out in the open, so I didn't see the creeper slowly approaching me, and it wasn't until it already blew up that I knew what was happening. It didn't come to a true near-death experience, but it was enough to shock me enough to leave for that day. After getting myself back together, I continued working on the storage building, and until day 52 is basically only building the storage area. And since I'm not a builder, just enjoy this short time lapse of me building it. Day 53, in the start of day 54, I decorated / terraformed the wall, protecting the pathway to the newly built storage building. And not to pat myself on the back too much, but I quite like this little pathway, so please don't roast it too much. The rest of day 54, I went to the mines to get more diamonds. And to be honest, I'm not exactly sure why I did this, since I already had full diamond armor, but at least I can flex to my imaginary friends now. Day 55, I tried to collect honey, but it fell into the cage, so I had to go in, and while doing that, 2 escaped, and I spent a good few minutes getting them back in. Day 56 was the day I remembered that my goal was to kill the Ender Dragon in Hardcore Minecraft within 100 days. So I started some kind of villager area to get the most overpowered gear to beat the Ender Dragon. Day 57, I looted the village and placed some beds to try and make the villager breed. That didn't work at all, so I started to dig out an area for a villager breeding. Day 58, I got the villagers in place and pillaged the entire village, and started a very tiny sugarcane farm and dug out a pathway for the baby to be led away from their parents to work forever in a This sounds very cruel. Trust me, the babies are happy. Anyway, I also started to dig out the space where the actual trading part would be happening. Day 59, I made a journey back to my base and got all the bones and bone meals and killed some more skeletons and bone mealed some potatoes to fill up the farm in the villager breeder. Day 60, I made a pumpkin farm so I could trade them for emeralds later. Day 61, I smelted copper and iron to gain some more experience to enchant my gear. And with that freshly enchanted armor and tools, I went to the Nether at day 62 and built a safe, or at least semi-safe pathway to the fortress, and started to explore the fortress, which went surprisingly well, and I even got some blaze rods. Day 63, I ran out of coal again, and instead of actually fixing the problem and setting up a more permanent fuel source, I went mining again to get more coal. Day 64, Whoa, a stack of days. Nice. Day 64, I went back to the Nether fortress for more blaze rods. I even tried to make a pathway to a new part of the fortress, because it's way bigger than I thought it was. But sadly, it's not only way bigger, it was way harder as well. That's what she said! And I couldn't quite make the pathway, so I ran back and crafted a bow, and not very surprisingly, that worked perfectly. Day 65, I found a blaze spawner, which made my job of getting blaze rods way easier. So I got around 16 blaze rods and went back to the base. Day 66, I brought gold to the Nether and tracked some piglins and forced them to trade with me. Sadly, I am not Dream, and I got exactly no ender pearls except the ones I got from killing an enderman. Day 67, I was bored and needed some more mining resources, so I went back into the caves and fought some more mobs and mined some ores. Day 68, I mined all ores with a fortune pick to smelt the raw gold to ingots, which I traded with the piglins and got a grand total of 4 ender pearls. Day 69, nice. I used all my pearls and some blaze rods to make Eyes of Ender, and on the start of day 70 I threw the first ender pearl, and with that, stepping the first step towards killing the Ender Dragon. And while that may sound very cool and epic, the truth is that I couldn't find it, and by day 71 I had a vague idea of where the portal was. Sadly, I couldn't quite yet find it, and while finding a skeleton spawner, I couldn't find the portal room. And I know you guys are gonna laugh at me, and you have the full right to do so, because while I was doing some sort of strip mine above, we zoom out a little bit on the replay, you can see the portal room is actually right underneath where I dug down. And after some time, I realized I might be a bit too high, and when I dug down, I finally found the portal room. So now finally in the stronghold, I decided to do a little bit of exploring to see if I could get some of the juicy loot. Spoiler alert, no, I couldn't. After that realization, I just made a portal and started making a safe way back to my base portal. As if I wouldn't be as kitted out as possible the next time I'd be walking that path. And finally, after a literal day of path making, I made my way back home, where I immediately got back to the preparations, because sadly, there was still a lot I had to do. Day 72, I expanded my pumpkin farm a lot, and a special moment happened. I got my first baby villager, and after the first one got there, the second came not long after. Day 73, I expanded the pumpkin farm even more, and the first villager grew up, so I tried to trade with it. That didn't work, so I upgraded the sugar farm a little bit. Honestly, from this point on, the days are getting kinda repetitive. And I'm really doubting if I spend this time wisely looking back at it, because from now on, it's just a lot of trading, making manual farms and farming XP. Day 78 wasn't really a highlight, but I think you'd like to see me struggle as I tried to separate these 4 villagers into 4 different spaces. And something that definitely didn't help in this painful process was that my messed up mouse kept scrolling away when I was clicking, and my scroll wheel was already broken. You may have noticed the weird way I scroll through my hotboard and hit with a bucket sometimes, so I decided that I had enough of it. So I just... And not to blame it on the situation, but after I got my new mouse, I did pull it off pretty fast. Day 79, I got organized and placed signs so I actually knew which traits I already had. That is also when I started working on my bow. And since I'm a smart man, I started with the best enchantment there is: Infinity. If you think mending is better, that's alright. Everyone their own opinion. These moral principles aside, not really much happens, so I want to skip to the Ender Dragon fight. But to prove I really did all the villager trading and survival, there will be a time lapse of all the villager stuff at the end of the video. So now, after almost 100 days, it was time to beat the final challenge: the Ender Dragon. I checked my inventory and walked over the path I made to the Ender portal prior to this. I got lost. After I found my way back, I placed my last Eyes of Ender, and the portal opened. I jumped in. After about 5 missed shots, I finally got my aim back and started to shoot. The first 7 crystals were easy, and I started to get more faith in the fight. And after the last crystal exploded, I started the last part of this challenge: actually killing the dragon. Her first purge, I got some few hits, but not a lot. The second purge, my preparations became really useful. During the purge, I got launched far into the sky, but due to my slow falling potions I took beforehand, I managed to safely float down instead of falling to my immediate death. On the third purge, I already did a lot of damage with my bow, and during the other purges with my sword, so our health was pretty much gone. So on this last purge, I hit my overly enchanted sword into the dragon's head, and with that, the fight was over. And after finally accomplishing my goal of beating the Ender Dragon within 100 days, I can end this video. But before we do, I want to say that I have many more plans for this world, and if you want to experience that journey with me, consider subscribing. If you enjoyed the video, press the like button and let me know what you think down in the comment section. And I hope to see you in the next video. Bye.